Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. In this video, it is Thursday evening. We have a football game here between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. So we'll get into any start-sit questions you guys may have. But for now, as we wait for more people to get into the show, I'm going to kind of go over the practice reports and just kind of let you guys know what's going on in the major news today, all the injury updates that we need here. So we're just going to go over to Roto World here and just kind of read through some of the news and notes. And we got a good show for you guys today. Good evening to Harris. Hope you're doing well, my man. We got some headlining news today. Keenan Allen gets a limited practice, so it looks like he's trending towards playing. You got J.K. I don't know what's going on with J.K. Dobbins. He gets in another full practice. It's very strange, though. Like, he got full practices in last week. I think they're just being super cautious with J.K. Dobbins right now. As of right now, like, I don't know if I would put him in my lineup if he were to play. I think I'd rather wait and see what's on my bench with him for the first game back. Good evening to Justin. More news today. The big one today was Justin Herbert practicing, throwing the football today. I saw him throwing the ball to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams today, looking good. Probably gonna be wearing some kind of flak jacket if he's gonna play on Thursday or on Sunday. So it looks like Herbert on track to play. Glad to see that. Leonard Fournette limited with a hamstring, and just with Leonard Fournette and that hamstring, I just want to reiterate: Rachaad White should be stashed in deeper bench leagues. Corey Davis added to the injury report. Not sure what's up with that. Dalton Schultz. I think if you have Dalton Schultz as your tight end one, you probably want to plan to be without him. He's dealing with a minor, knee PCL, kind of a sprain thing going on. So it makes sense to rest him for 1 week. We did get some interesting Dak Prescott news today, too. It sounds like he has a chance to play week 4 or 5. So some crazy stuff. I'll look that up on the Twitter there. If you're waiting for Hunter Renfrow, he missed practice today and yesterday with the concussion, so it's not looking good for Hunter Renfrow. Not sure what's up with TJ Hawkinson, but he's limited today. And then Alvin Kamara gets another practice in. So those were the headliners. I'm going to continue to roll through here. So if you guys do have start-sit questions, fire them up. We'll hang out for as long as I need to answer questions. There's the Keenan Allen news. I'm not sure what's going up with the Chiefs here. Like, all of their receivers were limited today. Juju got a full practice in, but he's on the injury report. Same thing with MVS. So interesting here after the extra few days rest from Thursday Night Football. I expect all of them to play, though. The Chargers, J.C. Jackson not practicing with an ankle and Corey Linsley not practicing. So that's kind of a huge – those are two huge pieces, on the offense and the defense here. So I'll watch for these guys. That would be a significant blow if they do not go. Scotty Miller upgraded to full. We're going to be watching for those Bucs receivers. Actually, I want to pull up the Bucs. Let's pull up the Bucs reports right here. So for Thursday today, not practicing Godwin. Hicks is already ruled out for the defensive line, and Julio did not practice. So no practice for Godwin and Julio back-to-back days. It looks like everybody else is pretty much good to go, though. So I think we're just watching for these receivers. Donovan Smith, questionable with the elbow. It looks like he was upgraded to limited today, so that's good news there. And everybody else is just kind of limited at the moment right now. Ravens Ronnie Stanley limited here. This one's an important one. Justin called this one out yesterday. Jacoby Myers not practicing today and yesterday makes me nervous. Like, this is going to be a tough game going up against the Ravens. Maybe they're just being extra cautious with him. But I'm slightly concerned. If he doesn't get a limited in tomorrow, I'm going to expect no Jacoby Myers this week. So make sure you have a backup plan just in case. It looks like they're also missing Kyle Duggar from today, back-to-back DNPs. So no Jacoby Myers in this one. As of right now, I would be nervous about practice participation tomorrow. Harris is saying, do I trade Johnson and Javonte Williams for Breece Hall and Mike Evans PPR? I'm assuming Johnson is Deontay. I personally would rather have Deontay and Javonte because, I think Mike Evans is probably the better receiver, but I think there's a lot of questions there with Tampa Bay too, just as there is with Trubisky and the Steelers passing game. But I think both guys are solid wide receiver twos. And then I'd much rather have Javonte over Breece Hall right now, even though Breece Hall does have, the opportunity to get more work as the season progresses. But Michael Carter's there and Zach Wilson's coming back in a week or two. Do I give away Javonte Williams for Cordero, Marquise Brown, and Christian Kirk PPR? If that's the return, if you get CPAT, Marquise, and Christian Kirk, I'm going to do it. Assuming, Christian Kirk's he's probably a wide receiver one in PPR leagues this year. Cordero Patterson, a nice RB2 piece for you. And Marquise Brown. So if you have if you have already two good running backs on your roster and you're okay with getting Javonte out of there, I'm open to this trade. That's a huge 1 for 3. Like that's a pretty significant trade. If you can do that, I think I'm doing that, man. That's a big deal. Let me see what else we got. So again, there's the J.K. Dobbins things. I'm super nervous. Yeah, John Harbaugh labeled him week to week, which he said this on Monday, which is like that means he's probably not going to play today. So we'll see. They're probably going to try to get him out there before kickoff, 90 minutes before the game. So we'll know about that. It looks like George Kittle's on track to play. This is a really good spot for George Kittle too. If we look at the fantasy points allowed to the position, I believe the Broncos are among one of the worst. Yeah, so they rank 30th against the tight end. They've allowed 14 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2 games, roughly 19 points. So I think if Kittle's good to go, he's going to be in for a really nice spot. So get George Kittle in your lineups. When I drop Allen Lazard, Michael Carter, Dameon Pierce, so I can get them. I'm confused. Would I drop Allen Lazard, Michael Carter? Your team's good. I don't know if any of those guys are droppable. Is this a 10 or a 12-man league? I don't know. My question is, how come you're trying to trade Javonte Williams so bad? I like Javonte Williams, and keep in mind the Broncos offense hasn't looked good, but he's played well. He's hit his floors. I think touchdowns are coming. I don't love Ezekiel Elliott. I think Javonte is the best back of these 3 for fantasy. I think I'd like to hold on to Javonte here. If you can get this, I like it. I like it a lot. I think you're upgrading pretty much everybody there. And technically, I think you only have to drop 2 of these players because 3 for 1. You're going to have 2 open roster spots. So it's probably Lazard and maybe Dameon Pierce, Michael. I don't know. That one's tough. But I don't think. I think Javonte is playing just fine. Kadarius Toney limited today with the hamstring. Again, there's Justin Herbert, there's Leonard Fournette, Russell Gage limited. He might be the number 1 receiver for Tampa Bay this weekend. Big one for the Packers. David Bakhtiari practicing today. He did not practice yesterday. He practiced today. I'm assuming he's not practicing tomorrow, but if that's the case, he's on track to maybe make his season debut against Tampa Bay. Pharaoh Brown not practicing for the Texans. Not sure what's up with Corey Davis. It says he seemed okay in the locker room after practice, so maybe just kind of a light day for him. There's Dalton Schultz not practicing. Hunter Renfrow not practicing again. Plan to be without him. Jameis Winston, the 4 vertebrae in his back fractures, and then now he's got an ankle injury. So I'm thinking there's a small chance we might see Andy Dalton this weekend, but I'm not sure. We'll have to watch the reports and the pregame activity, but there's a chance Winston could be of interest here. Okay. I think Harris, I would need to know like who are your top 2 running backs outside of Javonte Williams? Like if you have 2 quality backs already, I think with this group, I think Christian Kirk's probably a starter at the wide receiver position for you. Marquise Brown, kind of a flex, and same with Cordero Patterson. They're kind of a low-end RB2 flex play. Marquise more of a wide receiver 3 flex play. So I think if you have 2 really good running backs, I don't mind this because I think Christian Kirk's the piece that you want on your team. You got Henry and Damian Harris. And those guys are not PPR backs. If honestly, I'd almost rather trade away Derrick Henry right now. I think I would keep in a PPR league. I would keep Javonte Williams. The guy that I think I would hang out for a trade would be Derrick Henry, and see if you can get an elite receiver or something for that. And I guess I'd be curious who your other receivers are too. But I think as the season continues, the Broncos offense will finally find its footing. And so far, we've seen a pretty nice floor from Javonte Williams as a pass catching back. TJ Hawkinson limited. We talked about that. We're watching Cedric Wilson. If he can't go, I'm open to Mike Gesicki. Not sure what's up with Hayden Hurst here, but full practice today. Velus Jones limited. I think we're yet to see him, by the way. Shaq Leonard practicing in full. That's a good sign for the Colts. Alec Pierce can practice in full, back from that concussion, which is good. You got Alvin Kamara returning to practice again. So everything is looking a little healthier this week. Traylon Burks participated in full today. We're watching the Buffalo Bills here because Dawson Knox did not practice yesterday. He gets limited in today. If he does not practice tomorrow, I'm concerned. If it's limited, I think he's going to play, but he's a little too boom bust for us at the moment. We kind of want to wait and see what happens here. So Deontay, Mike Williams, Samuel, and DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, so you have a solid 3 group of wide receivers. I think, I don't know if that's Curtis or Debo, but I think adding Christian Kirk to that, I think, would be a really nice piece. I don't know if you're open to trading Derrick Henry in a PPR league. I'm not a big Derrick Henry guy, and I think the writing's on the wall. Tennessee's just not going to have the season that they've had in the past couple of years. So if you could try and package Derrick Henry for, I don't know, you're looking at, so it is Curtis. So I think in this trade, I mean, Christian Kirk is kind of the prize of this trade for me. Cordero Patterson's a nice depth piece. If you could flip Derrick Henry for those pieces, I'd even be open to that as well. Because I mean, Javonte and then Harris or CPAT as your your RB2 sounds pretty good. It looks like you got Michael Carter in there too. I just think I know Derrick Henry was a first round draft pick, but it's not looking good for the Titans at the moment. Christian McCaffrey had a weird ankle thing today. He's saying some stiffness after last week's game, but he basically kind of laughed it off and said he's going to play either way. Nothing to worry about there. Dontrell Hilliard back for the Titans. Devin Duvernay back for the Ravens. That's a good piece for their offense. Gabe Davis, again, he missed Monday night, but it looks like he's saying 100% confident he's going to be there for Sunday against the Dolphins. So big game, Miami hosting the Buffalo Bills. That's got a huge point total on that one. So we're excited to get Gabe Davis back in our lineups. Lamar Jackson popped up on the injury report with like an elbow thing. He was wearing a protective sleeve. It sounds like it's just precautionary, though. He's going to be just fine. The Denver Broncos probably going to be without Jerry Jeudy. He didn't practice today or yesterday, but it looks like KJ Hamler has a chance to play. So Hamler might be the number 2 receiver here. I would expect Jerry Jeudy to not play this weekend. I would think the plan is, again, after he landed pretty awkwardly on that shoulder, it makes sense for him to rest that shoulder up 1 week and probably get him back for week 4. And then especially if they can get Hamler added to this receiving group, I think that's probably what Denver will try to do Sunday Night Football. Do I trade away Javonte Williams for Cordero and Cortland Sutton? I would. I think I would. Cortland Sutton's a nice piece, and Cordero Patterson is a capable back here as well. Cortland Sutton, to me, he's a top 10 receiver. He's kind of, I was very high on Sutton. I had him ranked as a top 12 receiver coming into the season. And I think the injury ceiling Jerry Jeudy's broken. I think trading in Javonte for Cortland Sutton could be a nice piece for you. But man, it's tough, man. I think you're gonna want to hold on to Javonte Williams. The guy, again, if I'm gonna trade one of your backs, it's Derrick Henry. I wouldn't. I mean, there's a reason people are coming after Javonte Williams. They're trying to buy low on him in the Denver offense. So I personally like Javonte Williams a lot. Do I trade away Kirk Cousins, Javonte Williams, and Dameon Pierce for Mike Evans and Breece Hall? Do I trade away Kirk Cousins, Javonte? I can't. I don't want to trade away Javonte, man. If I'm trading away Javonte, I want a top 10. I want a top 10 back in return. Yes, we're anti Nick Chubb tonight. We got the Steelers crew neck on tonight, so I'm on the Steelers tonight. Michael Pittman Jr. is interesting. He's got a limited tag today and yesterday. They're gonna try and see if he can go. It looks like he's trying to play, so the Colts could get Shaq Leonard, Michael Pittman Jr., and Alec Pierce all back this week, which would be a huge boost for their game against Kansas City. This is interesting. The Packers wide receivers, you got Watkins not practicing with a hamstring. Christian Watson downgraded to did not practice with a hamstring. Alan Lazard did not practice with an ankle. So I think this might have been just a rest day and maybe just a rep day for guys like Romeo Doubs, Amari Rodgers, and some of the other guys. But we're going to be watching this situation closely tomorrow to see if anyone gets in a limited day. So we'll watch the Packers practice reports. Let me see what we got here. Cooper for Dylan. Yeah, we're keeping Dylan. We're keeping Dylan. And yes, seems like a rest day. Yes, sir. Michael Gallup didn't get a rest day today, though. I think he's gonna play this week. I'm not gonna advise to start him, especially with Cooper Rush, but I mean, the Dak Prescott stuff that I saw today was super encouraging. So if you're in a one QB league and someone cut Dak Prescott, like you should probably go snag him if you need a QB. So here's the full tweet. Dak was back on the practice field, gripping and throwing a training ball, not throwing footballs yet or taking snaps. 10 days removed from surgery on his right thumb fracture. But this is part of him building quick towards return as early as week 4 or week 5. Like that's next week potentially. So I like what I'm seeing here. I would bet maybe not for week 4. Week 5, though, Dak Prescott's got a chance to come back. And then that's probably when I'll be interested in playing Michael Gallup. So if Gallup's still out there on your lineups, I think, or in your waivers, I think Gallup is probably a must add right now. Yeah. And Cooper Rush looked competent against the Bengals here. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Monday Night Football, man, he's got a lot to prove. Do I bench Cortland Sutton for Jeff? No, we got to start Cortland Sutton this week. It looks like Jerry Jeudy's probably not going to play. And it's last week they almost got Cortland Sutton a touchdown. I think he's really close. You don't want to miss this. And I think it's a Cortland Sutton Sunday Night Football big touchdown game. And yeah, he did. He's 2-0 as their starter, so he's making some future money here. Here's the Buffalo Bills. Jordan Coyer did not practice with a foot injury today. There's the Dak Prescott news. Let's see. This one's interesting. George Pickens has been nothing more than a decoy on one of the worst passing teams in the NFL through 2 weeks. I saw a quote where he's like always open 99% of the time. So maybe we see the Steelers kind of pepper Pickens with a couple more targets today as the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if you will. If you drafted Chiefs rookie receiver Sky Moore, we've been disappointed. I think he's only played 13 snaps. He's hardly played at all in 2 games here. But now you have the Chiefs OC Eric Bieniemy guaranteeing Sky would see more than 2 snaps moving forward. So we'll watch for this. I know Sky Moore was cut in a couple of my leagues. And I'm waiting for an IR spot or 2 to open up so I can go snag him over the week, because maybe, again, we at the beginning of the show, we mentioned Juju and MVS and Mecole were all kind of limited today. Maybe they do lean into Sky a little bit here as maybe he's the freshman to hit this week. Aiden Hutchinson not practicing, not sure what's up with that. DeAndre Swift looks like he's fine. They kind of managed his ankle last week pretty well. They let him get some rest, and I think he's getting healthier, which looks good. No Julio today, no Wandale. Let me see what else we got. Michael Parsons with just an illness or a cold. I'm not too concerned about that. The Dolphins missing practice though for their top tackle Teron Armstead with a toe injury. So we'll see here. I think this could be a huge blow if he can't go. I mean, we've seen what the Buffalo Bills defense can do. This could be a huge blow for the Dolphins offensive line. They get Xavier Howard back, or Xavier Howard. I don't know why it says Xavier. There's the Micah Hyde news missing for Buffalo. Gabe Davis is back. And I think we're pretty much caught up here. This was a good one for me. James Conner returned to practice today, so I think he's on track to play. A lot of people were worried about the ankle, and I think a lot of people probably picked up Eno Benjamin or Darrell Williams this week. I still think they're worth a hold because, again, I'm going to use the term injury seal a lot this year. James Conner has just always been kind of one of those guys that gets hurt. If the injury seal is already broken, that usually makes you more susceptible to other injuries. You know, like if you're playing on a 92% leg, you're kind of making up for that with other parts of your body, and that could open you up to other injuries. So we'll see. I think James Conner, as long as he plays, I'm putting him in my lineup. I'm fine with that. No Rondale Moore yet. Very, very interesting. So Greg Dortch is a guy that I think looks really, really good right now. I think if you needed someone in a PPR league and you got say Michael Pittman, doesn't go this weekend, and you wanted to just look at a receiver here, Greg Dortch. If you're in a 12-man league, Greg Dortch probably needs to be added. I don't trust Rondale Moore and his injury right now. This dude's only 4.8% rostered, and the production here is pretty nice. 9 targets and 4 targets through 2 games, 63 and 55 yards, 11 catches in 2 games, and a touchdown. Like, they might have something here with Greg Dortch. So put him on your radar. He's more in a deeper 12-team league format. Who do you think I can get in exchange for Dak Prescott? That is a non-QB, non-PPR. Well, that's tough because, somebody would need a quarterback. So there's probably only one or two teams in your league that need a quarterback. So I think it's really that's a tough question because you have to look at the teams that are like, oh, I mean, I don't know if this is a 10 or a 12-man league, but you got to assume teams with Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Hurts, probably Murray. Like the top six teams are sitting pretty good. After that, I guess a lot of these teams do have questions. And if you're looking for like technically, like we probably rank Dak Prescott like as a top 10 QB. So that's kind of to me that's like back end tier of a QB. You're probably looking at an RB2 or you're probably in a 10-man too. That's tougher because now we're only talking about three or four teams that you're limiting yourself to. So I would look at the teams that don't have these top six QBs. You would look at their rosters and try and ask yourself, oh, could they use Dak? And then you're probably looking at like low end RB2s. Some guys like Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, maybe Breece Hall. If you like Breece Hall, I've seen him in a couple of your comments tonight. You're probably buying low on a running back, like top 20, top 25 running back. And as for receivers, you're probably looking at guys like Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin types, Allen Robinson types. You're probably looking at fringe starters at the position. I have over 1.5 on Mitch throwing a pick. Wow, yeah, he's probably throwing a pick. And over Terry, I'm playing him. Is that smart? It's tough because this might be Joe Flacco's last game starting. And as long as Flacco is the QB, I tend to like Elijah Moore and I tend to like Garrett Wilson. And in terms of volume, like I would say Garrett Wilson's going to get more volume than Terry McLaurin. It's also a tougher defense. I mean, Philadelphia versus Washington. Terry McLaurin's probably going to draw Darius Slay as the top cornerback for Philly. So unfortunately, I think he's making a smart move in putting in Garrett Wilson. Maybe it's there's some safety in Terry McLaurin, but so far, I think we're a little bit nervous about our guy Terry so far. That's a good one, Harris. That's a good one. If you could do that, I'm on board with that. You're getting a solid RB2. That looks to me that would be great. If the team needs a QB, and again, you can tell him, Dak Prescott rumored to be back week 4, week 5. That might entice him to make the deal. And yeah, Bakhtiari. It looks like the videos I saw in practice today looked like he's going to play. So that's going to be a huge boost. Packers getting Bakhtiari back in a big game. Jacobs missing practice today. I haven't gotten to that one. Let's look at that. So you're saying Boss Jacobs illness. Okay. Not too concerned. If it's an illness, he'll be okay. He wasn't on the injury report yesterday. Maybe he gets a limited in tomorrow. Sometimes guys with a cold just need a day off, but we'll watch for that. If Jacobs can't go, we'll talk about that more on Saturday, but that's definitely something to look at. We had a lot of offensive linemen dinged up early in the season. The Lions potentially missing their center. Joe Burrow and the Bengals potentially missing La'el Collins, not practicing. These are all Wednesday notes, but I think we're pretty much caught up for the most part here. So if you guys got another question or two, I'll answer that. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go make sure my DraftKings lineups are all good to go. As far as the schedule for the weekend, I'm probably taking tomorrow night off from videos. Maybe I'll just kind of recap a player's news update. But otherwise, Saturday morning, I'll do a prop show. And then on Saturday night, we'll go live as well to answer any questions as well as Sunday morning. So we'll be here. You guys enjoy the game. I'm taking the Steelers in this one. So hopefully quiet Nick Chubb game, the RB1 Nick Chubb. So we'll see what we can do, but this was fun. Thank you guys for hanging out. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on Saturday. Peace.